Hello everyone and welcome back to another video here on the channel. I am Lumus TCG and today I have my Zephagamon deck profile that I took to the Bristol Regionals. I know, pretty much all I play is Zephaga. However, that should be hopefully changing in the next few sets as there's stuff that's finally starting to catch my eye. And, well, this deck, in my opinion, deserved a last hurrah before AD01 got here and Duel cards arrive. As at that point, I don't think we're going to be around for much longer. But I'll be happy to prove them wrong. With that being said, let's jump into the deck profile, starting off with our eggs. So I am running 4 EX4 Cocomons as my egg. I felt like draw power was a bit more necessary than the memory gain. If I wasn't running the Coco, it would definitely be the EX7 Fluffy Mons I would have ran over these. I feel like this is the best draw power we have for the deck, and it's one of the things we struggle with is consistency, so having that extra draw power was real nice, and it did come up as very handy. That being said, now that we're done with regionals, I'm probably going to be swapping these back to Fluffymon for the time being at locals when I play the deck. Next, on to our level 3s, I am playing 4 Structure Deck Terramons. So, Search Power, very handy, very good in deck. This guy's been a staple since day one. Reveal the top 3, add 1 card with Bird or Avion and 1 Liberated trait amongst them from to your hand, and then replace the rest to the bottom of the deck, inheritable plus 2000 DP. Sometimes this does come up, the inheritable. A lot of people are starting to write off these plus 2000 DP inheritables in Zephaga, but they do come up still. DP is a thing, especially if you're sitting on a Vortex Tramon. As for like the artwork that came out in EX11, I did manage to acquire one of them, but honestly I prefer these World Championship artworks over this. So I have this one for collection purposes, and these are the ones I'd rather run in the deck. For my next rookie, it's more search power. It's free Mutomon. So on play, you may suspend 1 level 6 or lower Digimon. If you suspended one of your Digimon, then you get to look at the top 3 and add a Shoto and a card that has Vortex Warrior amongst them to your hand, or is a Bird or Avion. And then you put the rest of the bottom deck. Inheritables all turn. When this Digimon deletes a Digimon opponent's Digimon in battle, you'll gain a memory. Very nice inheritable all turns, kind of makes up for the fact that we're not running as many of the old Terramons that had this inheritable. I honestly prefer Digivolve into this guy in the back when it comes to the 2 searchers. The other one I'd rather play. This one, more often than not, you're hitting one thing, but I just wanted to be a bit more consistent with my searches. I would maybe drop it down to 2, and maybe up one of my other rookies by 1. But it's been very nice to have, and sometimes you do get the double hit with Shoto. On to my next rookie, I'm running 2 EX7 Terramons. The cost reduction is still very valid, very nice to have, and the all turns the exact same as the Mutomon. All turns when we delete an opponent's Digimon in battle, gain a memory. So with this in mind, I just couldn't give up this card. Originally, when I did the original build, I cut this out of the deck completely, and I couldn't. I felt like I still wanted this. I still needed this. The inheritable was too good. The cost reduction was still too good, especially if you combined it with the warp effect of Grand Gale. So I still want to run this. If I was to cut down a Mucho, it would be to bump this up by 1 personally, as I think this is still a very valid Terramon to be running. On to our final rookie, I played 2 EX11 Terramons. So there was a bunch of hype and stuff that went around a lot of the EX11 cards as a whole, as a group, over the inheritable here of when you win a battle, gain a memory on your turn only. I think that slowly died out as a hype, honestly, so I didn't find it as useful. I found more use in this with its when moving and on play to suspend a Digimon, and most of the time when I was doing it, I was suspending my opponent's Digimon. I wasn't even suspending mine to get the plus DP. That or I was Digivolving in the back. So this card I can see is very cuttable, personally. It's not, like, it's great, it's better than other options we have, but it's not exactly needed. That's probably where in the list that got top 16, if I was to get influence from that, these probably become the Kakuamons with a +1 security inheritable.
Make sure you subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell, that way you never miss a thing.
On to level 4s. We're playing 4 of the best level 4 in the deck. The B2 promo Galemon, the second one we got. So on play, when Digivolving, you may suspend a Digimon. For every other suspended Digimon, if it is your turn, you can Digivolve with the cost reduced by 1, plus 2,000 heritable. This guy, I know a lot of lists started cutting this guy down to 3 and was putting other things at 4. This guy is the best level 4 in the deck, in my opinion. There is no questions, if and or buts around it. I feel like this guy is a 4, no less, personally. He can help with the crackback plays. If you've really got nothing, you can just hard slam him and then Digivolve up. Not having to worry about memory. And potentially, like, if you've got your emblems and Shoto set up, you can just go from there. Great play, like, if you're left on 2 or less memory, so you don't have to go rookie, then Digivolve. You can just go, right, I'm just going to slam this and just do my play that way. Next, I was on 3 EX11 Galemon. This guy, I absolutely loved. He was amazing. Being able to, on play when Digivolve, suspend something. It being a May effect as well is nice. All turns, when any of your Digimon becomes suspended, you can, if you've got one of your Tamers, be able to play out a Shoto. So there's a few times I was like hard slamming this on the board, suspending itself, play out Shoto. Other times I was Digivolving over a rookie that just lived, and then I would swing at security for some chip damage. It became suspended, play out a Shoto. Things like that. A lot of versatile play with this. A lot better in some ways to the old Galemon, but I would be tempted to maybe put that back in. But the all turns makes this so much more viable, I feel. Just not having to wait for a Digivolve, you can just like hard slam if need be. And with a lot of ways to play out Digimon, it's really good. Inheritable is when this Digimon will win a battle, you gain a memory. Again, it's like the EX11 Terramon. It doesn't come up all that much. Most of the time when we're using it, we're swinging at security, and the amount of times I found myself relying on these your turn effects of, like, if I win a battle to gain a memory, because my opponent's got no Digimon on board, like, swing at security and say, right, if I hit a Digimon and we gain the memory back, I can potentially get the kill this turn, and then I'm not hitting a Digimon. It's just like, it's great when it works. When it doesn't, you feel like there's other options that are better. Next, for our final level 4, I'm on 2 Crocodilmons. It's a great game ender. Digivolve in the back if need be. On play, when Digivolving, you may suspend a Digimon. If this effect suspended one of your Bird or Avion Digimon, then you can target one of your Vortex Warrior Digimon to unsuspend, and then that Digimon may attack. So this happens before end of turn with Vortex and stuff, which is great, fantastic. Inheritable, all turns, once per turn, if this Digimon wins a battle and deletes the opponent's Digimon, you'll gain a memory. So it's still got that memory gain to control, it's very nice. There has been a few times I've thought about cutting this guy down to 1, and I'd maybe put the EX11 up by as 1 to put that to 4, but I think 2 is a nice sweet spot. If I was wanting to try and do like pure per se, I'd swap this out for the old EX7 Galemon for its all turns inheritable there, and just when Digivolve and play a Tamer. On to our level 5s. I am playing 3 Structure Deck 22 Grand Gales. This, in my opinion, is still the best Grand Gale out there. There was a brief moment of time I was thinking about the warp and stuff, as playtesting went on, as well as actual playing in the regionals more and more. This guy's the MVP Grand Gale, and I'd consider bumping him back up to 4, to be honest. So he's got Fortitude, Vortex. On play when Digivolve, when attacking, you may suspend a Digimon, and then this Digimon gets plus 3,000 DP for the turn. Inheritable, attacking once per turn. If your opponent has no unsuspended Digimon, then this Digimon with Vortex Warrior trait may unsuspend. So he's a double suspension. You get to suspend on Digivolve, you get to suspend when attacking. Great. If he gets deleted, Fortitude out, suspend more. Then when you Digivolve over him for like extra aggression, if they've got no unsuspended Digimon, which there's a good chance they won't, between your Galemon and now your Grand Gale, then you're going to be unsuspending for even more checks. So he can get rather crazy. But absolutely fantastic card. He is the MVP of the level 5s of the deck. And I don't think we're going to get any more support for Vortex. And if we do, it's going to be a very, very long time away. So this guy, I think, will continue to be the MVP of the level 5s for the deck. Now, from the top of the barrel level 5s to, in my opinion, the bottom of the barrel level 5s, EX11 Grangil. I'm playing as a 2-of. I was playing as a 3-of because I felt like I had to with the warp effect and stuff, and there was so much stuff about this card that read like it should be good. I should be running it. Why am I not? So, hand main effect, if you have a Shoto and a Gale as on field and you have a Galemon in trash, you can tuck the Galemon underneath a Terramon and warp for the cost of 3 into this guy. That seems good. Getting that acceleration going. Again, it was one of these things that I discovered as things went on. I actually didn't really need as much. So, it kind of felt like I was running it because it felt like it should have been good, not because it actually was good. When Digimon, you may suspend one Digimon, then you may play a Digimon with 3000 DP or less. For every suspended Digimon, add 1000 DP to this threshold. The Digimon has to be a bird or avian. So it's nice to get an extra body out in the field here and there. But honestly, I just didn't... Like, if I was doing it, it's because I was getting ready for a Vortex Digimon play. And I'm going to be honest, I have had many, many thoughts about cutting this guy out, like he just didn't perform. Like, your turns, once a turn, when this Digimon wins a battle, you can unsuspend. Again, that's very situational, I found. If I was to keep running him, I might keep him as a 1-of. I don't think... he's not going to go higher than a 2-of in any of my builds going forward. So, he is probably... He's not the worst Grangil, because we have the Structure Deck 18 Grangil for that. But he is definitely, in terms of what we're playing right now, probably the bottom of the barrel in my opinion. And the things that are holding him back is if he just had the... if you wanted to make him busted on like a Medusamon level, as a part of his Digivolve effect, you could have made him battle an opponent's Digimon. So you can gain memory back from the inheritables if you wanted to go in the Medusa level of bustedness. But I think what have ultimately been great for him is giving him the keyword Vortex, as I think that would have opened a lot more versatile plays with him. Because then at that point, it opens up a lot more access with the other Shotos. So if push comes to shove, like... If you warp into him and there's no bodies to suspend, you're forced to suspend himself. If you want to try and trigger your EX11 Shoto. But at that point, he's now suspended, so like you'd maybe have to go into Zephaga to unsuspend, but you're hopefully trying to end on a Vortex Digimon. But Vortex Digimon, if you do that, you're already suspended, which means you're not going to be able to unsuspend. But then if you use the EX7 Shoto or the BT20 Shoto, well, they trigger end of turn, so by the time you trigger your emblem off them and you Digivolve, well, you've missed out on your Vortex timing because it wasn't there end of turn. So I think at the bare minimum, if they give this guy the keyword Vortex, he would have been 10 times better. And at that point could have easily fought for his spot a lot better in the deck. On to our final level 5, I decided to play 2 EX7 Grangils. 2 felt pretty good for him, honestly. Felt pretty good. Can gain immunity to the end of opponent's turn. By spending himself, pairs really well with our Kokomon for draw power. If we're attacking an opponent's Digimon, we get to unsuspend. With the amount of piercing the deck naturally has, that's fine. Vortex, if push comes to shove. We all kind of know what he does. There was a few times, actually, where I Digivolved into him, used his effect to suspend down an opponent's Digimon so I could Vortex into it, triggered the EX7 Shoto to unsuspend to give a piercing blocker, to then allow me to warp up to a Vortex Digimon, and not have to worry there. But overall, fantastic card. I don't know if he'll be getting cut anytime soon. He might even get bumped up. We'll see. If I was to cut down the EX11 one by 1, make it a 1-of, I'd maybe bump him up by 1, so I'm running 3 of him and 3 of Structure Deck 22. Now, on to our level 6s. I am playing 2 EX11 Zephagamons. So when Digivolving, you may unsuspend one Digimon, and then you may suspend one Digimon. And all turns, when any of my Digimon becomes suspended, I may play a bird or avian with 3000 DP or less, and for every suspended Digimon, add 2000 DP to this threshold. So it's a good way of going wide, getting some combo plays off, like play out a Cockatool to suspend itself to unsuspend us, and good ways of going. Piercing Vortex Blocker, it's got all the keywords. I've been back and forth. I really like him for his unsuspend, because he's got all the stuff naturally, he works really well with things. I actually really like pairing this guy with the EX7 Grangale, because then I'm sitting on this blocker that's immune to Digimon effects. And then if I ever call block on it, then the all turns will trigger to play out another body that's typically going to suspend something down. So then that way we're interrupting the board even more. So I really do like pairing this guy with him. It's very nice. Then I was playing as a one-of a structure deck as Zephagamon. So when Digivolving, you suspend one Digimon, then you unsuspend one Digimon. He's got the keyword Vortex and all turns. When a Digimon becomes unsuspended, this Digimon will get plus 3000 DP for the turn, as well as immune to Digimon effects for the turn. That's the all turns primaries are playing it because Venusmon is a thing. So I was back and forth a lot about maybe playing the EX11 as a one-of and this as a two-of, or vice versa. And honestly, after a lot of after Bristol, I still think I'd keep it as two-of, and I'd maybe drop something else. But it still didn't feel as great as what I was thinking it was going to in certain matches. And the matches where it did perform, the deck already performed in other ways, so I didn't need it. But yeah, Venusmon is a thing, and it just felt like having it as a one-off made it hard, as we didn't see it when we needed it. There was actually a one match against TS, I think it was TS. It was definitely a Venus type thing. I definitely think it was TS. Where I knew I had to find this because it was going to be my win con to at least not a win con per se, but like it was going to be the thing that was going to help me control the board better. And by the time I seen it, the board was so out of control, I had to Digivolve over it because it was my only level 6. Into a Vortex Ramon, because that's a lot better at controlling, as at clearing out the board. But then because I'd done that, I was in a Vortex Ramon that was then vulnerable to a Venusmon the next turn, which meant I was kind of locked down with this guy in the sources. And then there was one game where we did manage to see him early. It was doing pretty well, but then we ended up breaking the rest of it. So I would like to bump this guy to a 2-of. On to the guy I would cut for him, our one-off Medieval Gallant. So Medieval, he's nice. He seems like this really powerful card, and ultimately it didn't feel like he was impactful as he should have been. There was points where I think I did his hard slam cost reduction once in the entire tournament. Every other time I was digivolving into him, and the one match where he proved his worth was against Royal Knights. And then that match, we're already better on paper. Like, we can deal with Royal Knights easy. So I might cut this guy for a second Structure X Zephaga. He also ended up hindering me a few times, as I had emblems and stuff set up. And it was in a position where it's like, right, I can trigger emblems right now, and I'll be looking at my hand to double check things. And my only level 6 that I can emblem into is this guy. And I can't emblem into him because he's not a Liberator alongside Vortex Warrior. Or a Burner Avion. Like, he doesn't meet the conditions for emblem to trigger. Like, for emblem to let us digivolve into him. They ended up becoming a bit of a hindrance, so we had to hard digivolve, and quite a few times that was passing turn. So, he seems very strong on paper. He might get stronger in the future, but at this current moment in the meta, I think he served his time. On to our final level 6s. I'm playing 2 of the Ace. This card is just way too good. Admittedly, it's a bit of a week into the Storako matchup, as if they're attacking with progress, we can't bottom deck it. But overall, very nice thing. I have caught out a Medusa player when they attacked with something that didn't have progress, while having a Storako on board. I count as Ace as I went into the Ace. and I went, right, suspend Starako, bottom deck it. And they were like, right, trigger protection. I'm like, cool, you still go to bottom of deck. As the wording is by deleting your opponent's lowest, and I was under a EX7 Grand Guild protection, so they couldn't pop me. So they had to bottom deck, so that was nice. Overall, it still catches over people of guards, and it just helps get some extra more swings if you feel safe at the end of the game. Digivolving over your level 6 for the cost of 1, and then just getting 2 more swings in. Overall, still a very nice card, and I don't think it'll be going anywhere anytime soon. On to our level 7s, and we're only running as one level 7 at 2 of, and it's Vortextramon. This card is a menace. I was originally running him as a 3 of in testing, and I found myself relying on him so much that it ended up hindering me. So I tried to go a bit more toolboxy on my level 6s, rely on them a bit more, cut this guy down to 2, so he's there when I need him, but not too often, as quite more often than not, I was finding multiple in hand, and it was hurting me. So I went down to 2, and honestly, performed fantastically. There was only one matchup where I wanted to see him, and we couldn't find him, and it was my round 8, it was against Mastimon, and I knew I had to find Vortextramon, and I just couldn't find it. To then find out after the match, I was like scrolling through my deck to see how far away was I. To find out, so at the start of the game, when the opponent cut your deck and all that, they cut the deck perfectly. So there was a Vortextramon on the bottom, and a couple of cards up from it was the other Vortextramon. So they were both at the bottom of the deck, and that game was never going to last so long to the point where I was going to get that far down. So it's the only time where I wanted to see him and I didn't. It was also, at that point in the tournament, a lot more pieces were coming together. I think I should maybe start power shuffling a bit more at that point, between matches, to hopefully spread them things out, and it would have maybe avoided that disaster. But that being said, there's no way not to take credit away from the Mastimon player. They played very well. But yeah, 2 Vortextramon feels perfect. Just in case people don't know, when Digimon when attacking, you may suspend a Digimon, not once per turn. As a lot of people found out during the tournament when I was unsuspending, and then I was starting to swing and suspend down the rest of their board. If you suspend one of your Digimon, then you gain the immunity to Digimon effects and plus 6,000 DP until the end of your opponent's turn. On all turns, when anything suspends, this Digimon may unsuspend, and then this Digimon may battle an opponent's Digimon. So if you play it right, he is a triple blocker. So on the first attack, you can call block. On the second attack, you can go trigger the all turns, unsuspend and battle. And then go on the third attack, you go block. With the Deramon coming out in BT25 as inheritable, you can then go on a 4th attack, go redirect into him. So he becomes a quad blocker, essentially, under that circumstance. Piercing Vortex blocker, absolutely amazing card. And hopefully the meta doesn't kill him too much with Duel cards in the future. On to Tamers. I am playing 4 EX11 Shoto. So he's a memory setter for starters, and honestly, it's the rest of the card that makes him absolutely crazy. So the your turn effect is while your opponent has no unsuspended Digimon, you may Vortex into the player. That is just a nice cherry on the cake for this card. The best part about this card is the all turns. So when any Digimon suspends, you can essentially suspend down the Shoto and give one of your bird or avions plus 3,000 DP. If the suspension was done by an effect, you also get to draw a card. So there's been a few times where I've had people swing into my body. I'm like, okay, trigger Shoto, give it plus 3,000 DP, I'm now bigger. There's been points where all I've had is a Shoto on the board, or 2, and they go, right, swing at security with Alliance. I'm like, okay, I'm going to trigger my Shoto on the Alliance, because that's suspending by an effect, so I'll get some draw powers to hopefully see what I need for the next turn. Add so much draw power to the deck, it's insane. Pairs really nicely with the draw power we get from the Kokomons. I'd say it's a 3 of minimal. I can't see it going lower than 4 is very, very nice. Next, I was on 2 EX7 Shotos. Still one of the best ones. Start of main, gain a memory. Memory gain's fantastic. Both on board with a memory setter. You start at 5 memory. Brilliant. And then end of turn by suspending this as Tamer. One of your Digimon gets piercing and blocker. And if it happens to be a Vortex Warrior, it can also unsuspend. Comes up a few times. Very nice to trigger Vortex, tap short, suspend, give a piercing blocker, trigger an emblem, Digivolve. But the memory gain is what makes this card so great. On to our final tamer. I was playing one BT20 Shoto. So this was mostly for like the idea of mirror match, as well as a few other decks where they maybe get immune to Digimon effects. At start of main, you can bottom deck this tamer to then play out another Shoto from hand, and then if you have no Digimon on the board, you can play out a level 3 Birdoravion from your trash to the board. Again, this is at start of main, and if you have no Digimon. So it's a very nice kind of scramble, in a way, if need be. End of turn, by suspending his tamer, you can suspend one down if you're one of your opponent's Digimon, and then one of your Digimon gets plus 2000 DP until the end of turn. So it helps give you a little bit beefierness, but also it was mostly there for any matchups where it's like, okay, you're immune to Digimon effects, right? Spend short to suspend this down, get rid of that. In terms of that idea, did it come up once, honestly. A lot of my friends were played against Zephagamon, so it was definitely there about one good top 16. I never saw it. I never seen the mirror match. In every game I was in, they were affected at all times. So it's just like, okay, this guy just did nothing. But I could guarantee if I didn't put him in the deck, I would have probably run into a few snags where I needed him. On to option cards now. I was playing 3 emblems, Guardian Vortex. So, get to play out a Terramon, a Muchimon, or a Shoto from hand or trash when you use this card, without paying the cost. Then when any of your Shotos suspend, one of your Digimon with the Birdoravion in its traits, or the Vortex Warrior trait, may Digivolve into a Bird Dragon and Liberator Digimon in hand with the cost reduced by 3. Ultimately, a very nice card. There was a few people running around the idea of playing memory boosts over these for more consistency. I like the emblem. It's a nice also security activate the main, so it's a nice like security bomb to play. Overall, did very well. That's another Galemon I might put in as well if I was to cut stuff down. I might go back to the old security Galemon, go back to my tall grass roots. But yeah, overall, very nice card. I wouldn't run it more than a 3 of. I don't think it needs to be a 4 of. You could get away with running it as less if you wish, though. On to our final set of cards. I was on 4 agility training. So, reveal top 2 cards, take a green card. Put this card in the battle area, delay, you can pop it to Digivolve with the cost reduced by 2. We all know what train does. And to work alongside these, I was running a 5th training as a 1 of sprint dash training. Exactly the same, add a green or red. You can use this card without meeting color requirements if you don't have a sprint dash on the field, but its security effect is to essentially activate the main effect. So, very nice, very good. As we get more dual trainings, these normal ones will probably end up getting cut out for more of them, because just having a security effect of the training is going to be overall very, very nice. I hope you've all enjoyed this Zephagamon deck profile that I took to Bristol. It'll probably be the last profile we do for a very, very long time. I'm already planning out a War Greymon deck profile to bring to you all, as I finally have the pieces to do that deck profile. I've been planning it for a very long time. We might have deck profiles of some of the other people that went to Bristol to come on the channel as well. We will see. But, that being said, Bristol was amazing. The deck performed better than I thought it would. Hopefully, dual cards are not the death of Zephagamon, and hopefully we get some more support in the future, as I would like to continue playing this deck going forward. I do have a lot of fun with this deck. It is one of my favourite Digimon. It very quickly became that way. Future decks, I'm looking out for future sets as well, just kind of give this idea. I'm hoping to maybe build a Gekomon deck, and I mean purely Gekomon. I don't want to build Glowing Dawn. I'm not really a big fan of these slop-style decks. I'm looking at building Jupitermon as well, coming in the future sets as well. I'm always still getting that built up, and I'm also in the process of hopefully building up a Vidramon deck alongside them. Well, sorry, a Yule Force deck, not a Vidra. Yule Force deck alongside them all. So a couple of decks from this year's of sets to really look forward to. That being said, though, I'll see you all in the next video. Until then, adios.